Do you really need me to tell you how good one of the best PlayStation 1 games ever is? Do you? So yeah, take Spyro, improve the graphics a bit, now improve the gameplay engine, and then add a couple of new subtle but hugely important gameplay elements, and you've just shaped one of the best PlayStation 1 games. Hell, one of the best 3D platformers ever to be created. This game is literally that, an improved version of Spyro 1, and you might think that means it doesn't innovate at all, but I have two things to say to that. Number one, never quit a winning team. Spyro 1 was a great game, and why would you mess with something that great just because you have to make something different? Back in the day, repeating a successful formula wasn't seen as something bad by any means, and that resulted in some pretty amazing games like these. The first try at anything won't ever be perfect, so by making a second game and not changing too much, the developer gets a lot of room to polish up rough edges and generally makes the game better. You see this with Spyro, but also with games like Crash Bandicoot, Rayman, Pokemon, and for modern day examples, Kingdom Hearts. Reason number two is the game doesn't just copy-paste Spyro 1 with some new content, it's a very different game. The little gameplay changes that make the game feel a lot smoother are one thing, but there's so much more than just that. The world design, like in the first game, is something that this game just gets right. Every world and every level has its own character, much more than in the original Spyro game. Entering any given level will present you with an opening cutscene, which serves as exposition to show you the characters living in this world. It's more or less like watching the first couple of minutes of a film, where you can immediately tell what kind of film this is going to be and how it looks. Every level is almost like a little game by itself. The issue with these kind of games for me though, is that everything interesting about this game is the same as in the first game, so if I want to explain the game to you, I'll just be repeating myself. So I'll give you all the differences about this game, assuming that you already know the first Spyro game. That should give you a pretty good picture about what this game actually is. Firstly, a very basic game design change. Every stage now has gems, orbs and a talisman, rather than just gems. The whole frozen dragons thing has also been taken out. The gems are still scattered about the stage, but enemies don't drop them anymore. Instead, they release glowing orbs, which after defeating enough enemy, unlock power-ups for that specific stage. More on that later though. So you've collected all the gems and now you want to leave the stage. Well, then you go to the character at the end of the stage and you receive a talisman. Of course you can just skip getting the gems altogether, but in a game like Spyro, it's all about collecting stuff. Be careful though, because you might think that after collecting the gems and getting the talisman, you've gotten everything. But really, that's just a bare bones version of playing the game. The real meat of the game is in the side quests. Every stage has a number of side quests, and they'll reward you with an orb. There's a total of 64 orbs in the whole game. You need to collect a couple of them to progress in the game, in certain areas, but mostly they're an optional collectible. Well again, the side quests for getting them are the fun part of the game, and most of the time not getting them is a real waste. Some orbs are also in the overworld maps, just laying about for you to get, but it's not that easy. You need to perform some difficult platforming or find secrets to get most of these. Oh yeah, I mentioned power-ups before. Yeah, well, in every stage there's what I call power-up portals. Walk through them and you gain a temporary certain power-up. These range from actual flight, rather than the glide you normally have, super fire breath, which will destroy pretty much everything in the game, super speed, which is used to break some otherwise unbreakable obstacles and make jumps you couldn't otherwise make. There's also a spring, which is rather boring, it just throws you up into the air to reach new platforms within the stage. These are mostly just fun, but in certain places you can do things with them you're not supposed to do, like fly to a part of the map which should be unreachable until halfway through the game, or skip an entire obstacle course altogether. These are the two easiest ways to abuse power-ups, and the two that I've more or less mastered somewhat. But I'm sure there's way more ways to abuse these, and I'm sure it's a lot of fun. So you've completed a few stages and now you're filthy rich. No gems are safe for your collective desires. Well, you're not the only one. Enter Moneybags. This guy wants your money, and the worst thing is, he's getting it. To progress certain parts of the game, you need to pay him to get certain things. Some are useful skills which allow you to move on and go back to all the stages to discover new places, but sometimes he just withholds stuff from you until you pay him. He's pretty much a tool from the game developers to make sure you actually go out of your way to collect some gems rather than just rushing through all the stages and finishing the game within like an hour. And I must say, it's better than the requirements for traveling with Balloon Guy in Spyro 1. This feels logical and as part of the world. So there's 3 main hub worlds: Summer Forest, Autumn Plains and Winter Tundra. Just like you'd expect, these hub worlds are like levels themselves. They have gems and even orbs in them. When you've completed every single level in the world, it's time to face a boss fight. No, not just a level with a slightly stronger enemy at the end, there's actual boss fights. Not that they're like the most amazing boss fights in the history of game development, but it's a start. Then when you finish the game, you can go to Dragon Shore, where you can ride theme park rides and shit. Yeah, just forget about that part and focus on the important part here. Once you've collected all the gems and orbs in the game, a permanent Super Fire power-up unlocks. And if you start a new game now, well, you still have it. This makes the game a lot easier, and honestly, it's fun to play again just with this power-up. Altogether, the game took me roughly 7.5 hours to 100% complete, which isn't bad. I mean, it's nothing great either, but it's a good amount of fun, and those 7.5 hours were 7.5 hours of quality. No filler bullshit. So if you haven't played this game yet, what are you doing with your life? Go get it.